all the players chanting Lou. It gives you a little insight into how they want to play for him, how they respect him and want to have his back and rallied around all the adversity going on.
Yeah. The relationships, which is important in any business. I mean, the relationships with this particular football team are extremely strong, and they should be. And Tyson Anderson, it's like that was unbelievably popular based on what he's gone through. I mean, if you played sports at any level and had an ACL injury and had to rehab from it and try to come back and play again, you know what this young man's gone through, and he's solid gold from a personality standpoint.
All right, what do you say we get out of here? What do you say you go put your head on the pillow?
Yeah.
And we gather here 1 week from today and talk about a division win that gets the Bengals to 3-4.
I like every single bit of that, Lance. Let's do it to it.
And mostly putting your head on the pillow right now.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's what you like best.
That sounds real good.
Very moment. Sound good, yes. He's Dave Lapham. I'm Lance McAllister. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's been Bengals Line on the First Star Logistics Bengals Radio Network and 700 WLW.
Behind every successful business is a strong leader. That's why the Cincinnati Bengals leave HR to Paycor. Paycor's HR software helps build winning teams and great places to work. We're pumped to watch Bengals history unfold at Paycor Stadium. Find out how Paycor can help your business at Paycor.com.
Bengals fans, new Goldfish Crisps are here to elevate your game day spread. Taste how Goldfish does chips in delicious flavors like cheddar, sour cream and onion, or salt and vinegar. Try them all and find your new home team favorite, available now at Kroger.
Bengals fans, the jungle awaits. Now's the time to join the Bengals season ticket wait list.
Claim your place on the wait list for just $150 per seat. You'll get first priority to purchase Bengals season tickets when they become available. Plus, get first access to single game tickets and playoff tickets while supplies last.
Some things are worth the wait. Join the season ticket wait list today and rule the jungle with us. Visit Bengals.com or call the Bengals ticket hotline at 513-621-8383.
This was Bengals Line on the First Star Logistics Bengals Radio Network. Brought to you by Paycor. Paycor is proud to be the official HR software provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. Alta-Fiber, the official Wi-Fi and internet provider of the Cincinnati Bengals. This is 700 WLW, the home of the best Bengals coverage.
News, traffic, and weather. News Radio 700 WLW, Cincinnati.
Recovery efforts ongoing with some impacted by reported threats. With the 9 o'clock report, I'm Sean Gallagher. Breaking now. Following weeks of misinformation about FEMA's response to recent hurricanes, a man in hard-hit western North Carolina has been arrested for allegedly threatening FEMA workers there. Threats have forced the agency to shift how it's responding to the disaster, with those in Asheville and surrounding communities reeling after homes and businesses were destroyed by deadly flooding.
The Curtis family now salvaging their prized possessions from their dream home by boat.
What has this been like for you?
It's devastating. Devastating.
Looking back at your home.
Yeah. Devastating. So trying to salvage what we can. Cherished memories from years ago. Our entire life.
Crews are racing to restore power to the region. Most utility companies hoping to have everyone back online by the end of the week.
ABC News' Victor Okendo. Meanwhile, Florida continues to recover after being hit by Hurricane Milton last week. Now the latest traffic and weather together right now. No new reports of any accidents on the major interstates or highways.
Now the latest forecast from the Advanced Dentistry Weather Center. Advanced Dentistry, the judgment-free dental experience you've been looking for. NoFearDentist.com.
A slight chance of showers tonight, otherwise cloudy. The low down to 43. For your Tuesday, mostly cloudy. A chance of showers and storms, but a 50-50 shot, a high near 54. Right now, radar is showing a mostly cloudy sky. Not seeing any showers out there right now. Our current temperature, 49 degrees. More details being provided in what was an already disturbing story out of northern Kentucky.
First responders in Robertson County last week described an horrific scene. Blood on the back porch and door of 68-year-old Trudy Fields' home north of Mount Olivet, with Trudy's body found dismembered on the property. Her daughter, 32-year-old Tori Lena Fields, allegedly refused officer commands. They say she was trying to cast spells on them. Kentucky State Police troopers eventually used tear gas to get the blood-covered woman out of the house. She's now under indictment on multiple charges, including murder. Investigators say that Toylena shot and stabbed her mother before dismembering her with some of those body parts found in the oven. I'm Jack Crumley, News Radio 700 WLW.
MLB postseason, Mets defeating the Dodgers 7-3 in Game 2 of the National League Championship Series this afternoon, now even at 1 game apiece. Game 3 in New York set for Wednesday night just after 8 o'clock. Game 1 American League Championship Series right now in New York. The Yankees lead the Guardians 3-0 in the bottom of the fourth. Monday Night Football action. The Bills are at the Jets to wrap up week number 6. Right now, early second quarter, it's the Jets leading the Bills 10-7. Our next update is at 9:30. I'm Sean Gallagher, News Radio 700 WLW.
This report is sponsored by Medical Mutual.
Ohio seniors, are you looking for better Medicare benefits? Visit medmutual.com/review to schedule a free Medicare plan review with Medical Mutual, Ohio's hometown Medicare insurer. Again, visit medmutual.com/review to schedule a free Medicare plan review.
Zimmer Tractor, Kubota's award-winning elite dealer for over 10 years, will always take care of your equipment needs. From BX tractor mowers to full line of construction equipment, visit the Tri-State's largest Kubota inventory at any of Zimmer's 3 locations in Monroe, Brookville, and Aurora. ZimmerTractor.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The Kenton County Haunted Fairgrounds is right around the corner, starting October 11th and 12th and wrapping on the 18th and 19th. They have a demolition derby, food vendors, haunted attractions, and so much more. Visit them today at the Kenton County Haunted Fairgrounds Facebook for all the information.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
When you're moving down the road, you should get a good feeling inside. For collision repair, you know we care. With a Liberty feeling of pride. Move out on the highway. Find your dreams out there. For the best in local repair, call Liberty Collision today.
Hear that? It's the sound of a gourmet meal you didn't have to lift a finger to prepare. Because with Factor, you get chef-prepared, ready-to-eat meals delivered. Picture this, a juicy filet mignon you'd find at your favorite steakhouse with roasted broccolini, rich 4-cheese tortellini, and rosemary sage butternut squash. Tastier than your typical Tuesday dinner, right? Get Factor and go from fridge to fork in just 2 minutes. Factor, all your meals made easy.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 original stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Coffee Shop Radio.
It's true, my bad habits lead to you.
Acoustic rock and the greatest singer-songwriters of the 90s to now.
All night, come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
And Coffee Shop Radio goes commercial-free every weekend.
That was when I ruled the world.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Coffee Shop Radio, and listen now.
iHeartRadio.
Free never sounded so good.
Welcome to the Nightcap on 700 WLW. Good evening, Gary Jeff Walker on this Monday night, October 14th, 2024. And after all that dose of masculinity and Bengals line in the aftermath of the second Bengals victory of the season, a discussion about men and masculinity. And, you know, the NFL, regardless of all of the little woke culture things that are happening in our society, is still a bastion of men being men and boys being boys. And it's important for society's structure that men be men and boys. It doesn't mean hitting each other in the mouth. It doesn't mean being loudish or being overbearing. But to be a man or a boy in America is becoming harder and harder. I think you look around and you hear about all the calls to tame toxic masculinity and all these other things, trying to tell us that there's no difference between the sexes. There's a very important difference between men and women. And to kind of highlight that, the executive manager of the International Council for Men and Boys, he is a partner in the law firm DeMarco and DeMarco PC, and the founder of the Law Center, one of the few lawyers with an advanced law degree in trial advocacy from Temple Law, also operates the Law Center YouTube channel, which is a free video library for self-represented litigants in family court. And anyway, Lawrence DeMarco, welcome to the Nightcap. Tell me about the International Council for Men and Boys and what you see your role is in 2024 America.
Certainly. Gary, thank you so much for having me on this evening. It's a real pleasure to be invited. So the International Council for Men and Boys is a 501c3, and we are addressing and raising awareness to 12 items of male disadvantage and the wide-reaching consequences for families, the economy, and even national security. The way we're trying to do this first is raising awareness for November, which is Men's Equality Month. There's March is Women's History Month, and just like women have Mother's Day and dads have Father's Day, women have History Month, and now in November we are celebrating Men's Equality Month to raise awareness and address these 12 items of male disadvantage. Every time you have heard gender equality, they have been, you think of women. However, and this is all science and data based, there are now 12 areas of male disadvantage that's really causing devastating consequences to society.
Well, let's talk about how this has affected the labor force in particular, because the economy is a huge issue in this election year, as it always is in a major presidential election year. It's the economy, stupid. How has this disadvantage affected America's labor force, Lawrence?
So Senator Marco Rubio issued a landmark report called The State of the Working and Non-Working Man that highlighted the alarming decline in male labor force participation in recent decades. The absence of men from the workforce has led to a reduction in overall economic productivity, increases in welfare dependency, and of course, a shrinking tax base. This is not just the United States. This is a global situation. And for instance, Italy and Israel have also reported significant drops in male workforce participation. And a lot of that comes from education. More than 100 countries report lower levels of male secondary and graduate education enrollment and completion, high school dropouts compared to girls. And estimate education cost to society is 13.9% over a decade, according to the World Bank.
All right, families. And we all have seen the results of men not being in the home with their children and being able to provide for their families. So you got to really focus on men being men in their familial role as patriarchs and the like.
Sure. With fewer men able to fulfill their roles as providers, men are less willing to enter into marriage, number one. And when there's fewer people getting married and staying single for longer, there's an increased rate of poverty, mental health issues, and of course, general breakdown in family cohesion. It is documented that father absence, the other thing is in child custody court, when there's a joint when there's a sole custody dispute, when they're fighting over custody, men only get sole or primary custody 15% of the times. And men often have to fight, and they don't have the resources, fight just to have their share of custody. And father absence causes, especially in boys, reduced success in almost every area, from mental health, from school, from children who have successful relationships and dating, drug addiction, every type of addiction, video games, pornography. So fathers provide stability to both their boys and daughters.
All right, real quickly, I'm kind of running short on time, but that's my fault. I was bloviating at the beginning of this. National security. The U.S. Army reports a 35% decline in male recruits in the 10 years between 2013 and 2023. And says that traditional military masculinity, once a driver from recruitment, is now less appealing to young men. I guess the question, Lawrence DeMarco, is how is the International Council for Men and Boys, and we know what the problems are. Can you give me in a minute and a half nutshell solutions and things that you guys are working towards?
Sure, I would say. Listen, this is, for this is the 90-second version. Generally, raising awareness, because every time that you've heard of equality, you always think of gender equality for women. There's billions of dollars asserted, set aside for women's rights, and rightfully so, because women in parts of the world do have to face things like forced marriage, mandatory hijabs, and they aren't permitted to be educated. But we are trying to change the narrative that when you think of gender equality for men, there are statistically based, data-supported 12 items of male inequality. They're on our website, menandboys.net, and they range in things like education, because men are struggling in education, suicide, men commit suicide at 5 times the rate of women, or at least young teens anyway.
Jeez.
And hazardous workplace, men are 15 times more likely to die in the workplace. There's a myth of male higher wages. They work more hazardous positions, which is why it appears that there might be an imbalance. So they're on our website. See those 12 items, and we have detailed solutions that we don't have time to get in 90 seconds, but we have detailed solutions on each one. That, for instance, for false allegations, restore the presumption of innocence. For problems in family court, shared parenting. Enact a presumption of equal shared parenting for the benefit of not just men, for children. Everything we propose will benefit society as a whole, and women as well. This is about the benefit and health of society, and not just men, but for women and children as well.
All right, what's the website, real quickly, Lawrence?
Sure, certainly. menandboys.net. You'll see the 12 items, and there's a click-through for each item where you can see the statistical support for each problem and the solutions for each.
Lawrence DeMarco, thank you for your precious time tonight, and hopefully we'll be making some progress, and people will be opening up their eyes to see what's going on and how important the role of men is in our society, in America and the world. Thank you, sir.
Gary, thank you so much for having me as well.
You bet. We'll talk to Jennifer Strickland on the women's side about hearing the voices of women and taking back who they are in just a moment on the Nightcap.
Homeowners, the Fed has taken action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto is also lowering mortgage rates big time. Eddie here. It's the best chance in 2 years to do a cash-out refi and unlock all that equity at an amazing rate. Loan Pronto has fixed loans under 5% APR, the lowest in 2 years. You can get a fast refi and get thousands in cash. Use it to pay off your credit cards and all your other loans. You'll end up with one payment, and for most homeowners, they save over $850 every month. If you want to keep your original mortgage intact, ask about the Loan Pronto Express Equity Line of Credit. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 513-800-1550, loanpronto.com, 513-800-1550. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLS, consumeraccess.org.
Zerorez Carpet Cleaning, it doesn't just clean spots. They remove dirt from living spaces where you and your loved ones spend time. Don't miss the Zerorez Fall Sale. 3 rooms are carpet clean, only $129. When you mention me, Bill Cunningham, easily schedule online, zerocincy.com.
Got chronic joint pain, steroid shots don't last, and you're trying to avoid surgery? Well, luckily, there's a better way, and now it's available here in Cincinnati from the medical pros at QC Kinetics. It's Eddie here to tell you about the new advanced regenerative treatments that can help restore and repair damaged tissue in your bad joints. The outcome, lasting relief with no drugs, no more steroids, no surgery, and no downtime. This is an all-natural way to use highly concentrated healing properties from your own body to give you lasting relief. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in precision regenerative medicine with over 100 clinics across America and literally thousands of satisfied patients. If you've got joint pain due to arthritis, knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, don't think the old ways of dealing with these are the only ways. You need to learn more about these new regenerative options that can change your life. See if you're a good candidate for these treatments. Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation. Call 513-847-0019.
Home values in Cincinnati are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked, so you're thinking about selling. It's time, except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial investors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while the value is high, but you stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Sounds smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure retirement, whatever you want. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
If your basement leaks, call Everdry today. Remember, it's not dry till it's ever dry.
High prices are like a money vacuum, sucking your wallet dry.
No!
But don't fret. You could win our inflation vacation, $1,000 to ease your money woes. Woo-hoo! Listen for your chances to win every weekday.
Draft the Total Pros from ProSource to power your productivity and tackle your printing needs. Keep your operations running smoothly play after play to move the chains for your business. Learn more at TotalProSource.com/Stripes. Get ahead of the competition with ProSource on your team.
As I promised you, we got the men's side from Lawrence DeMarco from the International Council of Men and Boys. It's time to hear from a woman, I think. Jennifer Strickland is a podcaster, author, former model, and a wife and mother. And she has written this wonderful book called I Am a Woman. We had Jennifer on a few months back, but again, I think it's an important message to continue to convey that women and men in the roles that we believe God cast them in are so crucial to the maintenance and the thriving of our society and our lives here on earth. And Jennifer believes that too. She wrote the book, I Am a Woman, and she wants her voice to be heard, to uphold the dignity of womanhood with clarity and compassion. And she joins us now. Jennifer Strickland, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on the show. This is an important conversation. I'm glad we're having it.
Really is. And what Lawrence DeMarco was just the point he was making, and his organization makes, is that the redefining of masculinity, that men are at many disadvantages right now, and that women should have their voice and their say, but men's voices are important as well. There was a case of a University of Kansas professor who was placed on leave after saying that men who don't vote for Kamala Harris should be shot. As a woman, how do you read that kind of? I mean, thank God that the woke university crowd and academia saw this as a problem, but just your answer to that first.
Well, I'm glad they saw it as a problem, but that is very indicative of a brainwashing movement, and that's one thing that I'm trying to get across whenever I do these interviews, is that the trans activist movement and the whole woke movement is a thought reform movement. And thought reform movements tell people that if you disagree with us, we will cancel you, punish you, or shoot you, right? And so it's really unfortunate that so much of that has gotten into the universities, because the truth is most of it goes unchecked and kids are being silenced. And they're actually being fed all of this woke nonsense, misgendering and all of these new terms. It's part of a thought reform movement. It's a brainwashing movement. And that means people who question it are punished. And so we've got to teach the next generation how to recognize thought reform when they see it.
Well, and you make the point in I Am a Woman, Taking Back Our Name, is that the true definition, traditional definition, and the Christian definition, and the name for women and the role for women is as a guardian. Correct? Can you explain that for me again?
Absolutely. I mean, it's really, if you really take a very close look at the book of Genesis, we see that Adam was created to guard and steward the garden, the land, and the woman was created to guard and steward Adam, which at that time was mankind. The words that God uses in Genesis, the ezer kenegdo, when Adam, he gets tempted by the tree, right? God says, here's this tree, don't eat from it. Right after that moment is when he says, you're going to need, and here's the Hebrew term, an ezer kenegdo. And God says it twice. You're going to need an ezer kenegdo. Those words mean guardian, face to face, someone who's face to face with you and will actually oppose you if you're going the wrong way. Someone who's side by side with you, who's going to help you when you cannot help yourself. And, woman was really created to channel man's energies towards righteousness, towards taking care of her and taking care of a family. So unfortunately, the feminist movement exalted themselves as superior as men. And we also have a history of unhealthy patriarchy that pretended like woman was a lower being. And neither one dominates in the creation narrative. In the creation narrative, we rule and take dominion and subdue together, side by side, as equals. And it's really a beautiful picture of Christ and the church. And it's really sad that, right now men are being emasculated because the feminist movement emasculated them. It said they weren't important. It said that their voice didn't matter, even in the life of their own child, their own descendants. Men in this country have no say. That is so evil. Biblically speaking, the responsibility for the protection of the family is on the man's shoulders. Yep. So by telling him that he has no worth, he has no voice, he has no value, we actually strip away what he was created to do.
Do you think that some people are blind to the fact that because they're a woman, because they are that gender, they should just automatically vote for the woman in the presidential race? I mean,
again, it's this is so demeaning. And let's just put it this way: I'm not going to vote for a woman who can't define what a woman is.
Thank you.
Okay. The first woman, her name, Eve, means life-giving. Yeah. Woman was created to bring life. So any woman who wants to be the head woman over all the girls in the nation, if she doesn't understand that we were created to bring life, body, soul, and spirit, we bring life to the home, we bring life to the husband, we bring life to the community, we bring life to the nation, we bring life to babies. Okay. Any woman who doesn't understand that that is the meaning of our name has no business ruling over the daughters in this nation.
And the Democrats' number one issue that they win on, sadly, is the issue of unfettered abortion on demand. And that's the Democrat Party's platform in this election. It just seems rather. It's not about giving life. It's exactly the opposite.
It is. It's just like they have done with men. Men were created to provide and protect, including their descendants, their children in the womb. So that's been stripped from them. And women were created to bring life, and that's been stripped. So this party strips us of our true identity. And then we wonder, why do we have all these girls with eating disorders and cutting, and these kids are, struggling with mental illness? The families are breaking apart. It's because all of these mantras like smash the patriarchy, sex work is work, my body, my choice. If you break down all of those mantras, they're all wrong. They're all evil. They're all unhealthy in the relationship between the sexes and the relationship between a mother and her child. And so this government system, we see a government system in the book of Revelation, the woman who rides the beast. Mm-hmm. They exalt sexuality. Mm-hmm. They exalt all these things that take people away from God's good design for marriage and family.
Jennifer Strickland.
And so we have to keep exposing it. We have to keep talking about it.
And you can read more about it in I Am a Woman, Taking Back Our Name. Jennifer Strickland, thank you for being on the Nightcap tonight.
Thanks so much for having me on the show.
News, traffic, and weather. News Radio 700 WLW, Cincinnati.
More legal trouble for Diddy with the 9:30 report. I'm Sean Gallagher. Breaking now. Already in jail awaiting trial for alleged sex trafficking. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs now facing additional lawsuits that have been filed. One includes a victim who says he was a minor at the time he encountered Combs.
In new civil lawsuits, he's now accused of sexually assaulting 6 more people, including a man who says he was 16 at the time of the alleged assault at Combs' famous white parties in the Hamptons, where a then 16-year-old looking to break into the music industry says Combs allegedly demanded that he needed to drop his pants and then molested him, asking, "Don't you want to break into the business?"
ABC News' Aaron Katursky. Now the latest traffic and weather together. Right now, taking a look at the major interstates and highways, not seeing any new accidents.
Now the latest forecast from the Train Heating and Cooling Weather Center on News Radio 700 WLW.
We'll see some clouds as we head to our Tuesday morning and a chance for showers. A 7 a.m. temperature of 43. The rest of our Tuesday, we'll see a few showers around and mostly cloudy skies, a high of 54. At night, while we'll have some clouds early, it'll clear out. That will allow some frost to form in spots. We'll see a low in Cincinnati at 35. From your severe weather station, I'm 9 First Warning Chief Meteorologist Steve Raleigh. News Radio 700 WLW.
Radar at this time is showing a mostly cloudy sky. It's 49 degrees. A man killed in a shooting this afternoon in College Hill has been identified by Cincinnati police. Officers around 1 o'clock responded to the 1600 block of Landfair Avenue, finding 23-year-old Denias Weaver, who was pronounced dead at the scene. The department's homicide unit leading the investigation. More than 100 arrests made a human trafficking operation in Ohio, a majority of them facing charges for engaging in prostitution or solicitation. The others accused of seeking commercial sex with someone under the age of 18. State Attorney General Dave Yost saying the operation targeted heavy activity areas in 19 counties. 74 human trafficking survivors identified during the operation. They've been referred to social services. MLB postseason action. The National League Championship Series now even at 1 game apiece after the Mets defeated the Dodgers in Los Angeles this afternoon, 7-3. Game 3 set for Wednesday night in New York, just after 8 o'clock. Game 1 of the American League Championship Series in New York. The Yankees lead the Guardians 4-1 in the top of the 6th. Monday Night Football action is the Jets hosting the Bills to wrap up week number 6. Right now, approaching halftime with under a minute left to go. The Bills lead the Jets 13-10 as they currently have the ball inside the Jets' red zone. Our next update is at 10 o'clock. I'm Sean Gallagher, News Radio 700 WLW.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down.
get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Tax season will be here before you know it, and now's the perfect time to consider ways to minimize your tax obligations. Hi, McConnell here, inviting you to take advantage of Allworth's free review of your taxes now through November 30th. Uncover tax savings opportunities, way to reduce your taxable income, and tax credits you may not have thought about. The best part? There's no obligation. Visit allworthfinancial.com/tax to take advantage of this offer and for terms and conditions. That's allworthfinancial.com/tax.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9924. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9924. That's 800-575-9924. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's finally here. Genesis Diamond's largest ever sale on luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Hey, it's David Cooper, Vice President at Genesis Diamonds. If you've dreamed of wearing a Rolex, you can't miss this special 2-day event this Friday and Saturday. During this event, you can take advantage of special pricing and zero interest financing on a stunning selection of luxurious pre-owned Rolex timepieces. We've got dozens and dozens of Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batman, Hulks, models you can't find anywhere else. All of our luxury pre-owned Rolexes are in pristine condition, some just out of the box, and all priced to sell at this event. And listen to this, with the purchase of any luxury pre-owned Rolex at this event, Genesis will give you a pair of 2-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings free. That's a $3,000 value. And listen up, Rolex owners, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site offering top dollar for your Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in the state and take advantage of special financing. It's this Friday and Saturday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds on Montgomery Road.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens. And it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Carrier, turn to the experts. Located dealer at Carrier.com.
Earlier today, as the attacks from Lebanon continued via Hezbollah into Israel, and this war that is being totally funded by the country of Iran to its many surrogates. And here we are just past the year date, October 7th, of the heinous terrorist attack on the country of Israel. In America, ever since those attacks occurred, the anti-Semitic hate has ramped up to just deafening decibel levels. And the attacks on Jews, especially in New York City, have gone through the roof. And so to talk about that and where we go from here and why this is and how it could affect the election very definitely is Dean Galemis. He started his career as a police officer in the New York City Police Department, 5 years on patrol, narcotics officer in the Bronx. He transferred to Rockland County in the Sheriff's Office, Police Division. And he retired from the Sheriff's Office Bureau of Criminal Investigation as a senior detective after 20 years of service and founded Global Security and Investigative Services about 16 years ago in 2008, and he continues in that role today. And we're talking about the anti-Semitic violence and the crime being committed against Jews in this country and how it has even further spiked since the October 7th attacks on Israel a little over a year ago. Dean Galemis, welcome to the Nightcap. It's great to have you tonight.
Thanks for having me on, Gary.
All right, so first and foremost, and just a couple of things that I saw earlier today. The talk show commentator Trevor Noah compared the October 7th attacks on Israel to the American Revolution and called the people who rebelled against the British terrorists. And he kind of said that Israel was attacked by freedom fighters who were just like our American revolutionaries. I mean, I don't know what history book this guy is reading from, Dean, but the comparison is not there. It's just not there. This has been Israel. The country has been Israel's homeland. It's been the land of milk and honey for the Jewish people for over 2,000 years. And it was violently and senselessly attacked by interlopers. Here's the comparison that would work for me. If America, the United States of America, was set up and the British forces tried to take it away, then the British forces would be terrorists. But the Iranian proxies who attacked Israel are nothing more than terrorists. And to compare American colonialists with Iran and Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthi rebels is just unthinkable. But that's the feeling out there, and I think it continues to fuel this kind of hate. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it's absolutely ludicrous, that kind of comparison. I don't believe the American colonists lit babies on fire, British babies on fire, or stuffed them in the ovens and made their parents watch them burn to death. This is, they're trying to humanize this barbaric behavior and this barbaric group who's been, Hamas has been designated a terrorist organization by the United States government since the 1990s, as well as Hezbollah. Trying to give these guys a human face, a human side, is despicable. And this is all being done because the Palestinian people are being displaced by Israel's war on terror in Gaza. But instead of putting the blame on the Israeli people, the press should be putting the blame where it belongs, which is on the Hamas terrorists, which are using these civilians as human shields and putting them in harm's way by putting their secret bases and their military weapon storage underneath apartment complexes and schools. No one's calling them out
hospitals.
On that.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
correct. I don't blame the Israelis or everybody who tells me, oh, well, they made an Israeli state after World War II, and it was really the Palestinians' people property. Well, let's look back at the Bible, and Jesus Christ was a Jew 2,000 years ago. In where? Jerusalem. There were Jews there 2,000 years ago as well as Palestinians. It's been a multicultural area for eons.
Well, I mean, let's worry about the semantics later, but to say it's a Palestinian people, there's no such thing as a Palestinian culture. There's not a Palestinian language. They're Arabs who were shunned by other Arabs, and they called themselves Palestinians thanks to the Romans actually calling this place Palestine just to basically wank off the Jews. And that is the history of the term Palestinian. So I don't even call them Palestinians. I know they call themselves that, and that's fine. As of September 30th, there's been a 74% increase in hate crimes against Jews compared to the same period last year. This is just in New York City. Here's the next question, Dean. Why is New York City such a focal point? It's happening other places around the country, and we've seen the protests on college campuses and the violence that has broken out caused by the anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic protesters. But New York City seems to be the ground zero and I hate to use that term in relation to NYC, but it seems to be ground zero for these anti-Semitic attacks and hate crimes that are being committed. Why so, do you think?
I think just for the sheer number of Jews that live in New York. New York has been a beacon welcoming people from around the world, and a big Jewish community here in New York, largest outside of Israel. In a place called Rockland County where I was a detective, the only place where there's more Jewish people per capita is Israel. We have a large Jewish population, and unfortunately, we also have a large group of politicians who are spineless and refuse to stand up and call all of this what it is, anti-Semitic hate. They're allowing this anti-Semitic vitriol to be spread without confronting it and standing up to it, and they're being cowards for political expediency. They're scared about upsetting a Muslim or people with anti-Israeli sentiment. They're scared to stand up to them, and it's disgraceful. We need some politicians here in New York who would shut these illegal protests down as soon as they start and not let them get to the point where they're out of control and they're no longer manageable. The second a group comes onto a college campus in New York and puts up tents illegally and starts protesting, and they're outside interlopers. They're not even part of the student body.
Exactly.
The second you let them fester and grow, then it's out of control. The second a tent goes up on your campus, how about this? Rip it down and throw them off campus or arrest them for trespass.
Well,
and
these
problems would go away.
These college presidents, like at Columbia University, and lost her job and should have, they're not in many cases, or they didn't in the last go round, let the authorities come in onto their campus. Is like, no, we're a sovereign state. We're going to take care of it ourselves, and they didn't do it. The other odd irony I find, Dean Galemis, in what's happening in New York City is that New Yorkers hired a former police officer, police chief, I guess, was Eric Adams a chief? I don't know about his law enforcement.
He was a captain.
He was a captain. A former New York City police captain as their mayor to be the tough on law and order crime guy. And we haven't seen much from Eric Adams. I mean, even before the indictments. But, I mean... Right. Isn't it weird how you hire somebody because he's going to be the tough on crime answer to de Blasio, and he winds up being just as bad or worse in the face of all this? Don't you think? You're talking about the leadership, and it has been severely lacking, obviously.
Well, I think Mayor Adams' hands are, and I'm no fan of Mayor Adams, but mind you, but I think his hands are tied. We have such a liberal New York City Council. It's almost impossible to get anything done in terms of law and order. And more than half the city council was, for defunding the police. Another big problem we have is in New York, we used to have a law against wearing masks in public, especially at public events and protests.
Yeah.
And that went by the wayside with COVID. And these people, and COVID's now over, but these people are allowed to wear headscarves at these protests, and all that does is embolden these people to take the next step and, cause violence, assault people, say, completely anti-Semitic things without fear of retribution or, explaining their actions at a later time. So we should reinstate the face covering ban at all protests and demonstrations in New York City, which is a law we had right up until 2020, and start enforcing that. And you'll see that these young people that just, want to cause trouble, just want something to do on a Saturday night, they wear masks and they go around and destroy property because they think they can get away with it.
Well, we saw the same things, and it was about that time of COVID with BLM. To me, the BLM protesters, and you mentioned the interlopers on college campuses that aren't even students. They're setting up encampments and pretending that the student body is with them 100%, while Jewish students are being attacked and being kept from going to class, that they're paying a lot of money to go to class for. But to me, the BLM protesters and the pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist protesters, many of them are the same people, are they not?
Yes, there's some rebel rousers that have been seen at multiple protests in multiple places. We had people blocking the Brooklyn Bridge, pro-Palestinian protesters. They were arrested that day, and then they were arrested later on in the day at another event at a college. And again, that's because they've taken all the teeth with this new Bail Reform Act. They've taken you're getting arrested. They're getting a ticket and released. So 15 minutes after they're arrested, they're back on the streets again protesting. They know there's no repercussions with the way New York has set up their whole Bail Reform Act. And it's just compounding the police department's problems in managing these previously manageable protests.
As a law enforcement and as a security professional, Dean Galemis, not only eliminating the face coverings at protests, but, I mean, where do you come down on this no cash bail? It's just, it's made the justice system all over the country where it's been tried a revolving door of recidivism crime that actually none of this is victimless. I mean, it's a victimless crime if I shoplift $950 worth of merchandise, which California is now reconsidering with a Proposition 36 that's on the ballot there. But, I mean, you got to do something about the no cash bail laws, don't you?
You've got to remember there's a trifecta of mistakes made in New York that are causing all of our problems, right? The first one is no masks at protests. Second one is the new district attorney, Alvin Bragg, day one of his time in office, he states he's no longer going to prosecute trespass, shoplifting, resisting arrest, or minor drug offenses. So you're no longer going to prosecute resisting arrest. So if you were in the street and a cop told you, put your hands on the wall, put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest, you know you're not going to get arrested if you try to resist. What are you going to try to do? It's human nature.
Yeah.
Run. You've created chaos. I have clients in New York City. We have trespass problems. We have homeless people sleeping in my clients' buildings in their lobbies, and they can't get rid of them. The cops won't even come anymore. So you go set up shop wherever you want. You want to smoke crack in the lobby of a bank? Go right ahead. Police aren't going to do anything. It's madness. And this has all happened all within a year and a half, 2 years of each other.
Oh, it's been so quick.
It's a recipe for disaster.
And with Alvin Bragg in charge of justice in New York City, it's like, I guess you would get arrested for being a Trump supporter, because apparently that was his major goal, was to get Donald Trump, and he said so.
Well, let's look at the state of Florida real quick if we have a minute.
Yeah, sure.
You know, we had the head prosecutor for the city of Tampa refused to enforce laws he didn't agree with. And what did Ron DeSantis do, the governor? He said, well, you're either going to take that back and enforce them, or I'm going to have you removed from office. Mm-hmm. And the guy refused, and DeSantis removed him from office. When I was a cop, one of the major things they taught you in the police academy was you need to enforce the law and take your personal opinions out of it. Just because Alvin Bragg doesn't agree with a law on the books in the state of New York, he has no legal authority to not enforce it or prosecute it anymore. What he's doing is illegal, and nobody will call him out on it.
Well,
when I was a cop, if I didn't agree with abortion, and I'm not saying I do or not, I mean, this is a hot topic, but I'm saying if I didn't agree with abortion or a cop didn't agree with abortion, he couldn't refuse to arrest an abortion protester breaking the law outside of an abortion clinic. He had to arrest him. If you don't agree with, if you think marijuana should be legal as a cop when it was illegal, you couldn't choose not to arrest a person for possessing marijuana. You know, if you think it's okay to commit domestic violence, doesn't mean you can choose what laws you arrest people for or don't. Same thing with a prosecutor. He can't pick and choose what he thinks should be prosecutable.
Again,
it's illegal, and no one will call him out on it.
You mentioned Ron DeSantis in Florida, and you look at the comparison with Kathy Hochul in New York, and there you go. Dean Galemis,
there you go.
Thank you so much. Again, Dean Galemis, the the founder of Global Security and Investigation Services, and thank you for being on with me to talk about this. It's a serious issue, and I think it very well should and will affect the Jewish vote coming up November 5th, don't you?
Yeah, no, 100%. And the Jewish vote has traditionally always been Democratic.
Mm-hmm.
They have been the biggest reliable Democratic voting bloc in history, probably. And a lot of the Jewish community that I speak to are voting Republican this year. They've had it.
All right, Dean, thank you so much for your time tonight, and good luck.
Thanks for having me, Gary. Appreciate it.
You bet. It's the Nightcap, and it continues.
If you missed our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One. Las Vegas, make some noise!
Watch the best moments exclusively on Hulu right now.
All right, you guys are out for a party, I can tell.
See the biggest festival headliners from around the world assembled on one stage on one show.
This iHeart energy is so incredible. See it all at our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Streaming only on Hulu right now.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. It seems like everything we hear these days is about political races, and yet there's a far more important race that you run for yourself every day. It's the race to be the best that you can be. But if your libido is low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you've got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're losing that race, and maybe even that your best days are behind you. But the truth is that they're likely not, because if you're feeling like this, it's probable you're simply suffering from low testosterone, a condition that affects a huge percentage of men as we age. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. We've successfully treated thousands of men for the condition, and if you're like most guys, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. Better sleep patterns, higher energy, improved mental clarity, more productive workouts, and your libido will likely increase as well. So get back to winning your race by calling us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
I don't know what's scarier, the spot your pet just left on the carpet or the idea of you cleaning it up. Good thing you can call my buddies at Zero Res Carpet and Air Cleaning. Cleaning to get your home insanely clean. Their patented Zero Water is a non-toxic cleaner that breaks up grease, neutralizing odors, and help remove all those spots. Take advantage of their spooktacular savings. You get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned, only $129. When you mention me, Bill Cunningham, easily schedule online, ZeroSensi.com. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's a smarter and lasting clean.
Feeds it down inside to Fremantle, throws it up and hits it too. Xavier leads.
Xavier basketball is back. Join Xavier Nation at Centos Center this Friday for Musketeer Madness presented by Heartland Bank. Admission is free, and this is your first chance to see the Musketeers play as they face off in a blue-white scrimmage. Don't miss the Madness this Friday, October 18th at 6 p.m. And fans, it's not too late to secure your tickets for this season. Full season and mini packs are on sale now at GoXavier.com/tickets. That's GoXavier.com/tickets.
Homeowners, the Fed has taken action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto is also lowering mortgage rates big time. Eddie here. It's the best chance in 2 years to do a cash-out refi and unlock all that equity at an amazing rate. Loan Pronto has fixed loans under 5% APR, the lowest in 2 years. You can get a fast refi and get thousands in cash. Use it to pay off your credit cards and all your other loans. You'll end up with one payment, and for most homeowners, they save over $850 every month. If you want to keep your original mortgage intact, ask about the Loan Pronto Express Equity Line of Credit. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 513-800-1550, loanpronto.com, 513-800-1550. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLS, consumeraccess.org. Hey, are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain? It's time to get the relief you deserve without going under the knife. Think about it. Your body heals itself. Think about it. You cut your finger. Guess what? Your body's healing agents are at work because it heals up in a few days. QC Kinetics can take those healing properties and concentrate them in the joints where you have pain to help heal and restore those achy areas. This treatment is available now right here in Cincinnati through QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. The results, you can move again with no pain. QC Kinetics has treated thousands of patients with incredible success. Finally, relief from arthritis and injury without surgery or downtime, no steroids or pain pills. If you've got pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back, you need to see if you're a good candidate for these new treatments. Find out. Call now to schedule a free consultation with QC Kinetics. 513-847-0019.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 original stations for you to explore right now.